Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are being safe, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer. Um, and comment below what y'all are doing to keep yourself occupied during this quarantine. But yeah, so today I'm gonna be doing a story time, and I'm gonna be telling you the story about when I was followed to my sister's school. So yeah, before I get into that though, if you like the story, feel free to leave me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So this happened in 2014, and my sister was in middle school, and so she had did a fundraiser, and this was the day when she was getting like all her items that people bought. And so my mom called me and she was like, you should go and walk up to the school because my sister's school was in walking distance. So she told me, she was like, walk up there and just meet her. You can help her carry her items. So I said, okay, cool. So I go and I get dressed. And so, mind you, was wearing I had on a short sleeve shirt that was like a little bit too small, so you could see probably about like this much of my stomach, and I had on some jeans. And if y'all wonder why I'm telling y'all that, it relates to a part later on in the story. So yeah, anyways, I get dressed, put my shoes on, because at this point I was just sitting in the house anyway. I wasn't working yet, and I was out of school. So of course I was like, okay, I'll walk and I'll go, meet her and help her out. So yeah, I get dressed, and what I would do is anytime I would have to walk somewhere, I would just call my mom, just because it would make me feel safer to talk to her as I was walking. So I have my phone, I'm on the phone, and I have my keys, and I leave out the door. Now, mind you, to get to my sister's school, you can go two different ways. You can go and you can leave out of my cul-de-sac. You can go to the right, which my mom will always say she felt like it was safer to go that way because it's open. Cars are constantly driving by, and there's like houses so people can see you and you're visible. Whereas if you go to the left, it's shorter, but it's like behind a shopping center. So the only thing that's really there is a community center that's on the right side of the street, and then it's like the side of the apartment complex, and then that's pretty much it. So it's not really as many cars coming by, and it's not really, people really aren't gonna see you unless they're like outside or whatever the case is. So yeah. So of course, me being me, because I'm lazy, I go to the left. So I walk out and I'm walking. And I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm talking to her. And so as I walk past the community center, this man comes from, honestly, he came from nowhere. I really don't know where he came from. I just know he came from somewhere in the direction of from the direction of the community center. So yeah, I see him out the corner of my eye. So I'm walking, and as I'm walking, he says, first he starts, he's like, and I'm right here, he's right here. So he says something to me. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something to me, and I was like, no thanks, or whatever. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I basically said something to say, like, like, I'm not interested or whatever, and I kept walking. So as I'm walking, I'm noticing that now he is starting to follow me. So I'm still on the phone with my mom, and I'm telling her, like, but in so many words, I'm like, this man is following me. So she asked me, she's like, describe him to me, like, what does he have on? So I'm telling her he has on like this color shirt, he has on jeans, he has on these type of shoes, he's dark skinned, he's like an older man, etc., etc., etc. So then she asked me if I wanted her to call the police, because she was like, I can call the police and just have them, like, come meet you. And I was like, well, no, because I didn't want her to click over, because I didn't know like what this guy was going to do. I didn't know if he was going to try to grab me, or like, I don't know. I didn't know what he was going to do. So I just told her, I was like, no, just keep talking to me. So I'm walking, and he's just still following me. So I get to the end of that sidewalk and I have to like cross the street. And so as I cross the street, I see that there's like people waiting for the bus, and then there's people on this side of the street doing whatever they were doing. And so I'm just looking around me, looking at these people, and I'm just hoping that like somebody will make eye contact with me and see that like I don't know this guy and I'm uncomfortable and like do something. Like, I don't know, in my mind I thought maybe I would be able to just like they were gonna look in my eyes and tell that I needed help. But of course, like, I guess nobody noticed. So I'm walking, and when I cross the street, he goes from being like this to now he's literally like this close to me as I'm walking. So if you were to like drive by, you don't know us, you probably would think that like, oh, they know each other. But no, like, I did not know this guy at all. So yeah, he's walking, and like I said, he's literally this close to me. So at this point, I'm like freaking out, like I'm panicking now. I'm starting to go into panic mode. And so I just keep walking, and then I cross over to to the side of the street that the school is on, and I'm walking, and he's still following me. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I know it was probably stupid to like lead him to the school, but I just didn't know what else to do. And at that point, I was just not thinking about anything else. I was just trying to get to the school so I could just hurry up and get away from this man, because I was thinking that once I got to the school, he would just like go away. But no. So yeah, I get to the side of the street where the school is, and I go down the hill, and I go to where the front door is. Now, I don't know well, y'all should know, when you go to a school or like any type of like building like that, it's like the first set of doors you walk through, then there's like the little vestibule area, then you go through the other set of doors to where you're actually in the school. So I walked through the first set of doors, and as I'm doing that, it's also dismissal. So kids are like walking out. It's like a bunch of kids just running out of school, trying to go home. So they really wasn't even paying this man no mind. So I walk into school, and he walks through the first set of doors. All these kids are just walking past him. They're not, again, like I said, they're not paying him any mind, but they're walking out past him. And he walks almost to come in the actual school. And mind you, this whole time that he's doing this, like, he does not take his eyes off me. Like, he's just, like, staring at me the whole time. So he walks like he's going to come into school almost, and then he just turns around and he leaves. So as he does that, I walk into the office at my sister's school, and there's a lady sitting at the desk. And I want to say she was the only lady, right, that was in there. So that's just the first person I went up to. And I'm like, ma'am, like, this guy just followed me, and he literally almost came into the school. And I'm clearly, like, shaking up, panicking and stuff. And I'm telling her, and instead of her, like, she didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't call security. She looks at me and she goes, well, look at what you're wearing. So, like, for a minute, I just, like, stopped. I'm just looking at her like, did you really just say that? So I'm like, what do you mean, look at what I'm wearing? And she was like, look at what you're wearing. Mind you, I'm still on the phone with my mom, so she hears everything. So she gets upset. She starts going off, and at this point, I just didn't know what to say to her. Like, I was just, to this lady, like, I was just so disgusted, and like, I was just in shock pretty much. So I just walked out of the office, and there was like a bench there, and I just sat there and I started crying. And as I'm like crying, like ugly crying. So as I'm crying, my sister walks over. She's like, what happened? Oh my God, like, what's wrong? And as she says, at the same time that she says that, there was like a group of teachers that were like standing over, and they immediately stopped that conversation, and they run over to me, and they're like, oh my God, like, are you okay? What happened? So I explained to them that like I was just followed to the school, and that the guy almost came in, and I told them what the lady in the office said, and they were like, really? Like, that is so wrong of her. They're like, oh my God, I'm sorry that you just, had to go through that. Like, are you going to be okay? And so my mom was like, you know, just stay there. And at this point, she's like, I'm gonna just leave work early, and I'm just gonna come get you and your sister. So she was like, just stay there. And she was like, she wanted to talk to the lady, but of course, by the time she got there, the lady had hurry up and left. And so that was that day. So I go home. And then so the next day, me and my mom went to the community center to go talk to the guy that was like, I guess, the manager of the community center, and then talk to the police so that they could try to find the guy or whatever. And they were like, they were going to give him a warning and let him know that if he was to come on the property again, since he did come off of the like I said, he came from somewhere by the playground area, that if he was to come on that property again, that he would be arrested. So yeah, we talked to the guy that was like the manager, and he would, you know, wrote down everything that happened, and he was just basically telling us that it was probably somebody that was homeless, because he said sometimes they do that, they come and they hang around there, and they're not supposed to do that. And then as we went to go leave out of the building after we had talked to him, I lied to y'all not, and I know this had to be nothing but God. But as we went to leave, the guy walked in. He walked in the community center, and immediately when I saw him, like, he looked at me, and I was like, "Oh my God, Mom! Like, that's him, that's him." And I just I walked back into the office, because I was scared. So I just walked back in there, and my mom was like, "Yeah, that's him right there." She said, "That's him." And yeah, they went and they told him, like I said, that if you come back on this property. And so yeah, they let him know that if he came back on the property, he would be arrested. And yeah, that was that story. And I just want to say, to people that say things like what that lady said when she said, you know, look what you're wearing. I don't care if I was walking down the street naked. Like, that does not give somebody the right to follow me. And just like, you know, what somebody has on or what they don't have on does not give anybody the right to rape them or anything like that. I really think that that is a very ignorant way of thinking. And just, you know, try to just not be ignorant. But yeah, if you enjoyed this story, please do me a favor, and like I said, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye. Oh, and shout out to the manager of the community center and to those teachers, because they were very nice and they were very helpful and they were very concerned, and I do appreciate that. Because in a moment like that, you know, it's good to know that people do care and they do want to help you and they do want to make sure that you are okay. So yeah, again, bye y'all.